Thanks for having me on The American Dream today. And I'm here today with Leigh Newport with Stage by Design. And Leigh is our design and staging consultation expert. And we are here at a new listing that we have at 10712 Milkweed Drive in Great Falls, Virginia. And this home is 5 bedrooms with 6.5 baths with just under 7,000 square feet on 5.5 amazing acres, surrounded by trees and backing up to a quiet stream. So this home really feels like you're going home to vacation every day, yet we're just a few miles from Washington, D.C. So this is a great lifestyle here. And one of the things that we're doing today is that we bring Leigh Newport in to talk to our clients about what they can do to better prepare their home for sale. And Leigh and I work closely together in this important step in the process. Leigh has over 11 years of experience doing this kind of work. And Leigh, what would be great to know, and would be great for the people watching this today to know about, is what exactly are we doing here today, and why is this an important step in the process?
Well, it's a huge step in the process, Rob. It is the easiest thing that a homeowner can do to prepare their house, but it is a step that oftentimes they are unable to take on their own simply because it is almost impossible for homeowners to truly see their home in an objective fashion, and also from the buyer's perspective. There are things in our home that we ignore throughout the years, deferred maintenance and condition items, simply because we don't have to fix it. It's not structural. It could be a water stain on the ceiling that's been addressed years before, to those little areas from the baby gates and your kids are in high school. These are often small cosmetic fixes that you just don't see anymore. And also, you set up your house in a way that makes sense to you. You want it to be your home. You want it to be your haven. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you are intending to place your furniture, for example, around the focal point of the room. So the bottom line is the way you live in a home and the way you market and sell it is very different. And homeowners really just can't see that for themselves simply because they've never been forced to, and it's a difficult emotional process to go through as well. So having someone else like myself come in from the outside provides that perspective from the buyer's angle that really is so valuable. That's just almost impossible for homeowners to do themselves.
True. You know, it brings up a good point. The other day I was in a home and the homeowner really didn't want to change their paint. And the paint's been that way for about 20 years, and they said that it gave the house character. And one of the things that I told him is that that's great because that's your character, not somebody else's character.
Exactly.
Leigh, one of the things that a lot of people ask me about are what are some simple things, some inexpensive things that people can do that doesn't cost much, but gives them a really good return on investment?
Well, the easiest thing, Rob, is honestly just decluttering the house. And what I mean by decluttering, of course, it's a very subjective term, but think about any collections that you have, whether it's National Geographics for the past 20 years, or your Bierstein collection, or your pottery or stoneware. Anything that's in a large quantity typically can become visual clutter for the buyers, and it's something that doesn't help them connect to the property. It actually has a greater risk of alienating them. So if you pare those down maybe to a grouping of 2 or 3 or eliminate them altogether, you're creating more open space, and it's a very simple way to do something you have to do anyway when you're moving, which is to start packing. So decluttering in that fashion is very, very easy to do, but it's extremely essential. The other part is depersonalizing. So taking away your awards and your diplomas and your kids' gallery photos from kindergarten to college graduation, mostly because you want someone else to see themselves living in that house and not to feel like they're intruding on your space.
True.
So those are at least 2 of the very easy, very high return on investment things that you can do to prepare your house for sale.
That's great advice. One of the things, Leigh, that I always find interesting is that people want to hold on to those things.
They do.
And it's hard when you sell a house that you've been in for a long time.
Very much so.
And so one of the things that we tell people is, look, as soon as you've made that decision to sell your house, you've pretty much let it go. And I know that that feeling can hurt in your heart sometimes, but it's the next step. So just keep that in mind. And this is great advice. I really appreciate you coming on with us today.
Thank you.
And if anybody wants any more information about 10712 Milkweed Drive, we're going to be on the market in the next couple weeks. And you can find information about this home at FergusonRealEstateTeam.com. And thanks for having us on today. Leigh, thank you. It was great advice. And we'll back to you in the studio.